Yes, that's streaming.
Yeah.
All right. What is going on with YouTube today, y'all?
Well, it's down. We told you that.
Well, why?
Is that your
The
phone?
Russians.
It is my phone.
The Russians already said their coup didn't work.
It's my phone notifying me that we are live.
Oh, hey, look, we got an RSVP from Zach and KJ.
Look at that. All right, so are you guys ready to go?
Yup, let's do it.
On this episode of the CultureSmash CAST.
About time HBO raised some hell.
Oh.
WandaVision looks back into the 50s.
In Game of Bare Bones.
That's why you wanted to go last. Okay.
Blah, blah.
That worked.
Yep. Yep. It's the CultureSmash CAST, episode 545 for October the 28th, 2020. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv.
It's November.
Oh, yeah, it is November. What the hell? I did that,
Wow.
son of a bitch! All right, I'm going to do it again. Only the live people get this version, right? If you watch it live, you get the extras. What is the date then? See,
11th.
The 11th. It's the CultureSmash CAST. You something. It's the CultureSmash. All right.
I'm sorry.
I will come through this. I will come through this Zoom window.
I hope you don't come through the window.
Mm.
I mean, you're in the same room.
I mean, my eyes will be closed.
All right, here we go. Let me do it before I forget the date. It's the CultureSmash CAST, episode 545 for November. I forgot the date. November 11th, 2020. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv. Nico?
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
I can't hold on to it. Nathan?
Nathan Sabino, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
This is what happens when you take a week off.
Tina
Right?
Heinbach, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
And Zach.
Zach Martin, I play way too many video games.
Zach, you robot because you a bitch.
I mean, I love the giggle intros.
You're the robot.
No, you're the robot, sir.
Well, it certainly isn't my internet, sir.
I think it is.
Unless you consider 18 megabits
What's everybody-
down to be bad.
I don't know. Zach's coming through just fine on my end.
Yeah.
Told you. Oh,
And
Steven,
you're kind of
robot.
freezing up a bit.
Yeah, Steven.
Oh, no, I broke up a bit just then because I just checked my internet.
Oh.
And I'm fine, baby. I'm good.
Mhm.
Anyway, what's everybody been up to?
Reading, watching the Great British Baking Show, doing
We finished
winning
Lovecraft
stuff.
Country.
Yeah, we did finish
Yes.
Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, it's something when I check to see if everybody's caught up on Mandalorian to talk on our show, and I get back, well, we can talk about their British Bake Off. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, I haven't watched any of that shit.
I've watched some
Yeah,
episodes.
that was our response to you,
Was
Zach.
I supposed to watch that shit?
Yes.
I've never seen the Great.
It's great. I think, Zach, I actually, in all seriousness, think you should look at some of it because I think it is the best shot cooking competition show.
It is. It's very
Period.
well shot.
It is. You will look at it like me and say, oh, this is a little bit blown. And it is a little bit blown a lot of times. But it's, I mean, they take time. They rack focus. They do a really good color grade. It's pretty.
Plus,
Nice.
I love the artwork when they're talking about each person's dish,
Mhm.
how it goes into that artwork.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, I think it's a really well shot show, but not exactly the same as The Mandalorian. I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah, it's probably better.
It might be. It might be more serialized than The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
More consistent plot.
You guys do need to watch it because there is something in the current episode that's pretty topical, pretty interesting to
Okay.
talk about.
I don't get why everybody's freaking out, but all
Right.
right.
Well, we'll
I
save
mean,
it. We'll save it
to
to
me,
it.
it's
Just
like
save it.
National Geographic.
Just save it. Let's get into the story. Zach, you actually have 2 stories this week. Are you prepared for that level of responsibility?
Yeah, we're gonna do it like Bill O'Reilly does. And we're gonna do it live.
Oh, God.
On the Discovery
No,
Channel.
except for that second one. I'm like, okay, we're gonna edit that. But,
Mm.
so anyway, Hong Kong's first socially distanced outdoor entertainment park opened its doors to the public on Tuesday in an attempt by the entertainment industry to adjust to the coronavirus pandemic. The park, called The Grounds, has 100 socially distanced enclosed areas spaced about 5 feet apart that seat 2 to 4 people. Visitors can enjoy a variety of entertainment programs, including live performances and an outdoor cinema. Groups gathered for an outdoor screening of Jaws. Quote, "It's been a long, hard year locked inside for the majority of it, so it's nice to be able to sit on the bench with some friends and have a drink and enjoy the film." The coronavirus pandemic has been challenging for the entertainment industry, according to the managing director of The Grounds. Quote, "We had to really rethink and be creative about a solution." They created a drive-in movie theater, essentially. And they created a drive-in movie theater without the cars, almost.
Well, it sounds like it's going to have more than just that.
It turns out, and this may be a shocker, drive-in movie theaters are booming right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? But I got an idea, guys. How about we reopen movie theaters and not go with the drive-ins? What could possibly go wrong?
That is
that's a little inside baseball, but you know.
So I'm a little more inside baseball, but something.
I view this more as like an amphitheater kind of.
I feel like it's more than just movies.
Yeah, because I mean,
looked
it
at
says
the article,
like
it didn't
live
really have any
performances.
pictures.
So.
What did you say, Tina?
I mean, it says, you know, not only just cinema but live performances as well. So I view it more as like an amphitheater kind of situation where they might have it like a drop down screen or something for movies.
Right. Calling it a theme park is kind of a stretch, or anything even close to that. But we were supposed to, in Nashville last year, have gotten an indoor drive-in. Remember? There was going to be
I was so upset when that fell through.
Mm-hmm.
Did it officially fall through?
I haven't heard that it fell through.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it just dropped off the radar.
Yeah, it disappeared.
Again.
Yeah.
Where was this supposed to happen?
Over by Nissan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Over by our baseball.
Oh, yeah, and over by Nissan and Top Golf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait a minute. They did end up putting a bowling alley over there.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, stupid bowling alley.
I mean,
I like bowling.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy
like
bowling, but given the choice between an indoor drive-in theater and a bowling alley,
I mean, it would have been cool if they could have lumped it all together.
Right, that would have been the ultimate. Except the whole time you're trying to watch your movie,
you
noise
would be
pins. Yeah.
No, but if like it was all this facility
with different
aspects,
buildings kind of connected. Yeah,
it's a theme park.
It's annoying because that. I mean,
Nashville needs a theme park in general.
About
Let's be real.
You could have 4 quadrants, right? Bowling alley, and then a 1950s diner, and then the drive-in theater, and then the arcade.
I'd go to that.
Cool.
And the diner also serves as concessions.
I'd go to that.
Yeah.
It would be booming right now.
That would be cool.
Leave it to other places, not here, to do things right.
Well, if I had monies, I would start that with y'all.
Exactly. If we only had monies. But I think we're going to see a lot of this kind of stuff, though, because this stuff will outlast the pandemic.
Yep.
People will still go. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. It'll be more interesting to see what they come up with over there, because they're like, I don't know, a little more edgy than us as far as their entertainment goes.
Yeah.
Is that me that's
What?
roboting?
I don't hear a robot.
Okay. Well, if you guys, I heard
It
it.
could have been my cable, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's something. All right, so let's
It's YouTube. That's what it is.
It might be YouTube, actually. So let's talk about some movies. I've got the box office from the weekend. Number 10 was The New Mutants. It made 127,000. It's made 23.5 million so far. Number 9 is The Informer. Made 133,000. That is a new movie for the week, and that's its total so far. Number 8 is I just screwed it up here. Hang on.
It's called Spell.
No, I hit the zoom out button and suddenly couldn't read my document anymore. I was like, whoa.
Simon, do you need to skip this week? Do we need to stop?
I'm struggling this week, y'all. And plus, like overnight, I guess I had a nightmare because I bit the hell out of my lips. So I can't even talk right.
Ooh.
Yeah. So number 8 is Spell.
Is that what happens to Zach every night?
Probably.
Dude, sometimes, yeah, I've had several nights in a row where I bite my tongue and it sucks.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and it's like, just, I don't know. Anyway, 2020. Spell made 135 also. It's made $390,000 so far. Number 7 is The Empty Man. It made $294,000. It's made $2.7 million so far. I don't know anything about this movie. Wait, is that the horror movie that's supposed to be terrible?
Yeah, where it's like the kids and they're like calling Bloody Mary and all that stuff. Yeah.
It seemed like a knockoff of Bloody Mary and Candy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So number 6 is the reissue of Toy Story. It made $505,000. This is the first week of that. Number 5 is Tenet, still in the top 10. It made $900,000. It's made.
Anybody else see this yet?
No, $55 million so far. Number 4 is Honest Thief. It made $1.1 million. It's made $11 million so far. Something about this seems familiar.
It's Liam Neeson in another one.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Now I know.
I've heard it's not good.
Liam Neeson needs to recalibrate his career.
Yeah, I feel like he's doing the paycheck game now. He's doing a lot of stuff that is beneath him.
Yeah, I get the feeling that it's like once like the Taken 3 era happened, it's like, oh, it's this is just my life. Is this movie over and over and over?
Over.
Like Taken 1 was an anomaly enough, because I mean it wasn't such a hit, and then Taken 2, of course, you're gonna make a sequel. But Taken 3 is when you know, okay, this is just paychecks.
Yeah, exactly.
We need you to jump over this fence, and then Liam Neeson looks around and goes, "Why do you have 13 cameras?"
So
you've seen that scene, right? He jumps
Yeah.
over a fence and it cuts like 13 times.
Yep, I've seen it. Number 3 is The War with Grandpa, still in the top 10. It's $1.5 million. It's made almost $13.5 million so far.
I feel like Robert De Niro is in a similar boat of he needs to recalibrate his career.
You say that, but then he did, The Irishman last year.
Well, I was going to say, it's also Robert De Niro, so he doesn't really have to because he's good.
But you know what?
He can just do whatever he wants.
Everybody loves The Irishman except for me and Steven.
But you know what the thing is about that, when you say that, though, is that's almost the same thing as John Travolta doing Pulp Fiction. He stepped out because one director likes him, gave him a good part, and then went right back to doing trash. I mean, and honestly, The Irishman is not that good.
I was going to say the opposite. It's kind of the opposite though. It's like Robert De Niro didn't step out with one director liking him. He went back to the same director who always liked him.
Yeah. Number 2 is Come Play. That's another terrible looking horror movie. Made almost 1.8 million. It's made 5.7 so far. And
this might come as a shock, but last week was not Halloween. My bad. That's how you can tell I'm on time.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Number 1 is Let Him Go. That one made $4 million, and it is its opening weekend. Let Him Go looks kind of interesting to me. I haven't heard if it's good or not, but it has Kevin Costner in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that movie,
and
yeah.
Diane Lane in it, and it looks like kind of like the George C. Scott movie Hardcore or something like that, where they got to go get their daughter and they go and kick a bunch of ass and do it or whatever. And it sounds kind of good. I like Kevin Costner in that kind of role. I haven't heard if it's good or not though. All right, Tina, you got a story for us.
I do. It was announced in April that HBO execs were looking to adapt the Hellraiser horror film franchise into a television series, both of which are based on Clive Barker's novella, The Hellbound Heart. Now, Barker has also joined the Hellraiser series as an executive producer, and he's eager to bring to life the ancient elements of horror. The franchise has become a cult classic and global hit. In addition to the films, Hellraiser has also spawned books, comics, and video games. The TV series itself will not be a reboot or a remake of the original film and novella, but a continuation and expansion of the mythology the Hellraiser franchise has already been building for the last 3 decades. The HBO series will be written by Battlestar Galactica's Mark Verheiden and Krampus's Michael Dougherty. The show will be directed by David Gordon Green, whose TV directing credits include Vice. Is that Vice Principals? There's no comma there. And The Righteous Gemstones. It is worth noting, however, that the HBO series is separate from the Hellraiser remake that was announced last year. That film is being directed by Night House's David Bruckner from a story by Batman Begins scribe David S. Goyer. It's unclear how many episodes the Hellraiser series will have, and there's no indication as to when it is scheduled to be released.
Why you gotta hate, Nico? Why you gotta hate?
I'm over Goyer. Goyer needs to.
You love
Goyer's
Goyer.
overrated.
What? No. No.
I think I'm actually.
I know
more
Zach loves
comfortable
Goyer. You know, for of course the amazing work he did on the Academy Award-winning Suicide
Squad. Yeah. What were you about to say, Nathan?
I feel like the series will actually be pretty decent. I'm not interested in another movie, but I'm definitely interested in like a series. And how
But here's the problem: is that okay? How many Hellraiser movies have you seen?
I've seen most of them.
How many are there?
There's like 5 or 6 of them, I think. I've seen the first 4. I've seen the first
10.
4.
There are 10 Hellraiser movies.
Oh, well, I had no clue.
We can
and
all
there's
agree
only-
the mythology varies pretty big between the movies.
Well, and then the movie started
I don't know if I can make that agreement.
At least as far as I've seen, because obviously I haven't seen the majority of them. After Clive Barker left the franchise, it slipped. The first one is amazing. The second one is really good.
Yep.
And the third one is terrible. And the fourth one is awful. They go to space. It goes to space. I think it's the third or fourth one that they
What? That happens?
That seemed like the model for
Bloodlines.
all those
Yeah, Hellraiser
horror
Bloodlines is in
movies.
space.
God.
And the ship that they're on is a giant fucking box, like the puzzle box.
It's
Yeah.
just a
Lament
Borg.
configuration, you noob.
So
But-
what it sounds like is we need a crossover with Jason X.
I would look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, there we
I
go.
would look at
I'm
that.
on.
Mhm.
I'm on board for that.
Well, you know, Hellraiser was supposed to come in and Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
just
and I
couldn't
think-
secure the rights for it.
Didn't they do it in comic book form though?
Yes, they did
I
do it
think
in
so.
comic book form.
Mm-hmm. So
Did
tell
I ever
me,
tell you about that Hellraiser Harry Potter crossover that I read?
that's bizarre.
That was
We have
fan-made,
much
right?
to show you.
There was a video game, a Hellraiser video game. Is that true?
What?
Well, it says it in the article.
Yeah,
That's
it did
it.
say it.
I'm like, is that a thing? Because I want to
It
see
was
that.
unreleased. It was an NES video
That's the-
game.
Yeah, unreleased
What?
1990 video game.
It was a
NES?
canceled NES 1990 NES video game based on the
Ow.
87 film of the same name. It was developed by Color Dreams,
Which
who
is
are
a Christian themed.
infamously known
Yeah.
for creating unlicensed video games of poor quality.
Oh, so this was like one of the
Wow.
Tinjin games?
Apparently, there
Oh.
are photos
Yeah.
of preliminary box art and like main menus.
This
mean-
this is like I feel this sounds like a game that there would be the plot of a horror movie is that you found the Hellraiser NES game and you played it.
I
And
mean,
then
of
that
all the
actually turns out to be the limit in the configuration.
of all the platforms you would put it on too, that's just crazy to me. I mean, on the Genesis, maybe on the PC, definitely.
No, it needs to be on the Cube.
The GameCube.
The
Yeah, of course.
GameCube, yes. I would love to have a GameCube painted to look like the puzzle box. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. So back on the topic though, is my only concern is it's has anybody else? I figure Tina probably has. Are we the only two that have read the novella?
I started the novella, and boy, it's yeah, that movie, they sure tamed the fuck out of that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
From what I remember, granted, I read it like in I can't remember if it was like late middle school, early high school, but it was same when I was reading it. I was like, I don't think I should be reading.
Yeah,
It's something, boy.
It's very edgy.
Clive Barker was channeling some stuff when he wrote that book. Let me
Yes.
tell you.
He was
There
on
is-
heroin, man. Woo!
Yeah, there is a lot more. You thought the sexual undertones were pretty like apparent in the movie. You need to sit down for the book.
And it snuck up on me too because I read it as part of a compilation. Was it Books of Blood that it was in? It was in a compilation, and then I just came to that story and I was like, okay.
But look at the platform it's going to be on, though. HBO's. Yeah, HBO. I feel confident with HBO.
HBO won't show that.
Well, I feel confident.
Who would show that, though?
would.
I mean, you're gonna have to show a guy jizzing and masturbating, and like.
Well,
You
HBO
know.
did push a lot of boundaries with Game of Thrones.
I mean, if any regular,
What, a flaccid penis?
but if anybody was going to do it, it would be HBO, though. But the thing is remember this series is not the book, and it's not a remake. This is a continuation of the mythology.
Continuation, which is like starting out of the gate with a gunshot wound because your canon is completely fucked because nobody has seen 10 movies.
Well,
with the majority of them going direct to DVD.
The first couple, they would know the first couple movies.
Yeah, and I think also that they're only going to pay attention to the first couple. But since Clive Barker is coming on as an executive producer, they're not going to really give a shit about the things that happened outside of his,
Oh
wheelhouse.
man, so you mean we're not going to get a nostalgic space episode? Oh.
I mean,
They might. We don't know. We don't know how they're gonna.
I saw that. You want to know how bad I saw that movie in the theater.
You saw it with a crappy mat too.
Something. But anyway, I love this story and this character. It's going to be hard to see someone else play Pinhead, though.
Yeah, because that's the thing is Pinhead is, dude, he's likable.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
is he the bad guy?
Yeah.
I don't think he's the bad guy.
No.
I think he's just doing what he's supposed to do. And
yeah, he's literally doing his job.
Yeah, you brought this on yourself.
He even's like, you probably shouldn't do this. You're doing it anyway.
In the book it's like feminine, but in the movies it's a guy.
Yeah, but they make him very
androgynous.
Yeah, in the first movie in particular, he's very androgynous, I think, because he's wearing, like S&M, straight up S&M gear, but it feels androgynous. That's the word. I mean, it feels like Annie Lennox in S&M gear from the 80s.
Especially in the second one where they trick the girl into opening up the puzzle. It's like, whoa, we don't come here based on this. We are summoned based on desire, and don't harm her. It's like
I think that's one of the reasons I love them so much is they really only go after the people who need to be killed.
Who are actually seeking them out.
That one scene, what is it? Wasn't it in the second one where they go into the nightclub and literally just kill the shit out of everybody?
That's got to be
You
the
don't
third
know
one.
everybody's
That's gotta
story.
be the
That could
third.
have been an entire nightclub full of pedophiles. You don't know.
I think it was the third one because it was the third one because there's one of the Cenobites is ridiculous because he's shooting CDs out of his head.
Yeah, that's not. I've only seen the first and second, and I can tell you, that ain't in it.
Shooting CDs out of his head, and then at one point,
maybe everyone.
You don't know everybody's life story in that nightclub. They could have all been horrible people.
Yeah.
Right? There's a shot where it shows the outside door of the club, and there's nothing but just blood oozing out from under the door. I think that one was pretty laughable. So that tells me that it was the fourth one that was in space because I can never I own the first two. The others I've only ever seen the one time I put myself through it.
I will say though, if Shout ever does a box set like they have the previous Halloween and Friday, and I'm totally getting it.
I mean, I probably would if the extras are good because I love filmmaking extras. But I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion that they will do another one, and it's probably going to be Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, it's going to be Nightmare. I'm just saying if they ever get around to doing Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've done the Cube box set.
They did, and they did
if
the
you
Cube.
can find it for under $300, pick it up.
Well, and then Arrow Video did a Cube box set also that was even more expensive than that. So Shout Factory needs to do the budget version. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna watch. I will be watching this show.
Yeah, I'll watch it definitely.
Especially since Clive Barker is signed on to it, I have a little bit more enthusiasm to
have a little bit more faith.
Did you guys see? What were you gonna say?
Main point: Hellraiser 4K coming soon.
Is that true?
That is true.
By the way, it's me. It is the space one.
I had the Arrow Video one. At least I didn't pay a lot of money for it.
I get to pick that up for the first time on 4K.
God. So
Worked well with Evil Dead, works well with Hellraiser.
Did you guys see the teaser for the next season of American Horror Story?
Not yet.
No.
It just made me think of it. I know it's TV, but it looks like vampires.
Oh, are you talking about? It's not a like motion teaser. It's just a still image of like the teeth.
Yeah,
like what looks like a tattoo needle.
Yeah, it's a poster of looks like a vampire with his mouth open. And
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe because I've already
tattoo.
kind of done vampires. I'm thinking maybe like sirens or mermaids or something.
Someone else said mermaids too, but that's a lot of sharp teeth. They remind me of what is the movie? There was a comic book also with the vampires. Where it's set, like in the Antarctic or whatever.
30 Days a Night.
30 days a night.
Kind of reminds
Alaska.
me a little bit of that. Yeah, Alaska. That's
Yeah.
right. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I don't know. I kind of have fallen off with the series and feel bad
I
about
hope
it.
it's not vampires. Granted, I haven't watched since Roanoke.
Roanoke was the last one I watched as well.
Roanoke was like I wanted to watch Cold, I just never got around to it. I wanted to watch
Cold was
Apocalypse, but never got around to it. And then after that, I just fell off.
Cold
And
was really good.
Was that?
Yeah.
Which one was Cult? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I heard the slasher one was terrible. So I just kind of
This last one, the Apocalypse.
80s.
No,
No,
the 80s one was.
it was before, right? The Apocalypse one was the last one?
No, Apocalypse was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, Apocalypse
Yeah.
was before the 80s. The 80s one started off good, ended awful.
Which is like the one with the clown. It started off good.
Freak Show, yeah.
Freak Show. That started off good.
Yeah, I was upset when they got rid of the clown.
Because he was the scariest part.
Yeah, I mean, that had like real strong John Wayne Gacy vibes.
Yep.
Like, it's great.
All right, moving on. Nico, I think you got something. Here we go.
Yes, we do. From Deadline, Universal Pictures and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson are looking to relaunch the Scorpion King franchise with a new movie without the rock star, I guess, the Scorpion King.
Peace out.
Plot details are currently vague on what the reboot will do, although Deadline has sources saying that this one will apparently be a contemporary take set in modern times. For anyone unfamiliar with the Scorpion King franchise, the character originated in the Brendan Fraser film The Mummy Returns, the sequel to Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. And then he got a spin-off on his own, The Scorpion King, both in The Mummy Returns and The Scorpion King, played by The Rock, really kicking off The Rock's movie career at that point. There were also, I think, a couple, definitely at least one, but I think like two, maybe three, direct-to-DVD sequels, also not starring The Rock. So it's not like this is necessarily new territory.
So...
Yeah.
What does The Rock have to do with it? Is he not doing anything? He's producing. Why can't he be the Scorpion King?
The Deadline article posits that he's booked through 2022 just because movies.
Let's be real, he's not going to put himself through that level of trash.
I think there's only so much he could have done.
I was going to say, I disagree.
He's already done.
I've seen recent Rock movies. There's a high level of trash in them.
That's true.
Okay, well, what was the last one?
The last
Jumanji?
Skyscraper?
No, it wasn't. Although that one was not great.
I enjoyed
the last
Skyscraper.
movie I remember him was Hobbs.
That was way back.
Yeah.
That's been 2 or 3 movies back. That's a good one though. I like that one.
I
Hobbs
hate
and
how
Shaw?
you're like,
Or was it
that was
Jumanji?
2 or 3 movies back, and it's like that was last year.
Yeah, but I mean, he's had a couple of other things come out since then.
Jumanji 2.
Yeah, Jumanji 2.
Jumanji 2, and then something else.
He was
Rampage
cast in
was
Jungle
recent.
Cruise. We haven't seen that yet.
Jungle Cruise. Yeah, that one got sidelined.
Yeah.
Jumanji 2 was terrible. I hated it. Except
Rampage.
Rampage was terrible. I watched
Yeah.
it. It was terrible.
So tired of that.
Baywatch.
Didn't see that one.
No,
Central
that was longer,
Intelligence.
Fighting with my family.
Yeah.
I heard that was actually good.
That one was a
That
good
was the story. He made
Oh,
an
yeah,
appearance as
he's
himself.
also
Yeah,
not
he
a-
wasn't
he's
like
also-
he wasn't like a main actor in that one though, right?
No, but he
No,
made
no, he was-
one. No, he was a guest.
Okay,
appearance
you
because
guys-
They were doing
You guys, I think there's a little bit of delay between us and you guys, so just give it a little space. We're talking over each other a little bit.
I mean,
Like Hellraiser
going
Force
back to
Face?
2015, but I enjoyed San Andreas for the schlock it was.
Are you serious?
I
Because
like
it
destruction
was
porn.
schlock. It was just.
I
pure...
also enjoyed San Andreas.
Did I say it was good?
Okay,
no.
Okay. I think we made the point of the concept of the Scorpion King is not beneath the rock.
So let me just say, since you enjoyed San Andreas, good for you because they're doing a sequel.
Oh no.
Yeah. They are.
I enjoyed San Andreas because I was in a depression from being kicked out of my house, and I was like, "Oh, stupid movie fun." Like,
way to bring us down, Zach. Way to bring us down,
dude. It's a nice midnight movie, but or a 2 a.m.
my
movie.
destruction porn. Don't judge.
And I like it too. I do like. I like some of it just for the sheer
Now,
destruction of it.
When it
I'm
starts
gonna be
doing
honest,
like human drama stuff, I'm like, okay, no, get to the building falling. Get
Yeah.
to, like the city going under.
It's like
That's what I
porn.
want.
You're like, stop this plot. Get to the porn.
Plot?
I
What
love
plot?
natural disaster. I love a good natural disaster.
Yeah, actually, this is a funny thing to come up because Nathan's been on the disaster kick lately with his.
2012 volcano deep
Oh.
impact.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
2012 is unwatchable.
He's been watching them all. I'm like, what are you
Dante's Peak.
Oh.
Yes. I love
I've been on a roll.
Dante's
The last
Peak.
2 days, that's what I've been binging.
I
Dude,
still
as a
every time I
kid,
think
Dante-
of Dante's
oh.
Peak, I think of the what was it, the grandma or something, like pushing the
Jumping
boat,
out the boat and just
into
running
water.
Acid lakes.
Yeah, okay, so in Dante's Peak as a kid watching that, where they're on the boat and they're like, oh, something's turning the water into sulfuric acid. As a kid, you're like, oh no. And then as an adult, you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
And they're going, Yellowstone National Park? What?
So I do like Deep Impact. I like that one.
Wow, we are going way off.
Hey, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. So what did you expect? Yeah.
Well, I can tell you one
what I
thing
think is
that,
honestly.
I
No one's
would-
centering down on what I think is honestly the most ridiculous part of the story is it's a contemporary take set in modern times
Yes.
The
of
Rock,
the
like-
Scorpion King.
Is he just gonna like be chilling on like Broadway or something
You know what's
downtown New York
gonna
City?
Turns out the Scorpion King is just some dude's handle on Twitter.
You're gonna treat it like
Is it gonna be like?
Hang on. What were
Is
you
it
gonna
gonna?
say? Wait.
Okay.
Hang on, go.
They're gonna treat it like the mummy. He's gonna be resurrected into mummy.
Oh, fuck.
Well, my question is that. So is it gonna be like Scorpion King movie era Rock, where it's just him with that stupid long ponytail, or is it end of The Mummy Returns? Craptastic CGI, half scorpion, half human.
That I would watch. That I would be into.
If only the CGI stays the same level.
Yeah, it needs to be super crappy CGI.
This sounds really like a terrible idea. And I guess
Do it.
the Rock is like, let me just get that paycheck.
Basically, it's gonna be Rampage as the Scorpion King.
No.
That's what it is.
God, help. All right, moving on.
All right. Oh, we're into television. What are y'all watching on television?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh
covered
boy,
that
I'm
a
watching
bit.
The Mandalorian.
Obviously not The Mandalorian, right?
No.
We finished like we said earlier, Lovecraft Country. I think it finishes pretty strong.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
like
has a
how
pretty
it
good
finished.
ending.
I really liked how it finished.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I do think it has some of the weaker episodes are like in the 3-4 range.
yeah.
So like
Right where I fell off.
Right
But
but
where
it
fell
really
off,
it really
too.
does come full circle. I will say that. It does, like, you think, oh, this kind of just fell off, but it does come back.
It was like
it
after
does
that.
feel-
After you, Nico.
Oh, I was gonna say it does feel like it's going to go in an episodic direction, and then it cuts that off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say after that third episode with the haunted house type thing, moving past that, and then you're starting to get the pieces put together. It really starts to flow, especially like episode 6 on.
Because
Yeah,
that's
it
kind of when I
really-
fell off, was in that third
it
episode.
really it really picks up for me. It really picks up and starts getting like, oh my god, I need to watch more episodes of this after the Kumiho episode. So yeah,
All
that was
right.
amazing.
I'm gonna go back and look at it.
Which was
That
a
was my
beautiful
favorite
episode.
episode. That was my
Beautiful.
favorite episode.
Yeah.
I've fallen off with so many things, though. Even things that I like.
Yeah, I fell out of Devs. I fell out of.
Yeah, me too.
Raised by Wolves.
Me too.
Because Raised by Wolves gets to that point where you're like, end, and it keeps going. And
it wasn't, but for me, it wasn't that I didn't even like it. I liked it. I don't know. It's been, maybe it's just sort of, not to get too real worldly with it, but maybe with other things happening in the world, I just haven't been ready to focus on good, deep TV. I've been watching trash and shit, like The Great Baking Show, like you guys are watching.
Okay, sometimes I just need me to watch people making soggy bottom pastries and getting their anus ripped out because of it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that because it's the dude with the beard. What's his name? The guy.
Paul
Hollywood.
Yeah, he likes to rip people's buttholes out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what I have been watching that's consistent. I have watched The Mandalorian. I have watched the 2, and you guys do need to watch. They're not long episodes, and just so we can talk and I can hear your thoughts on it. Because I'm just curious if you feel the same as I do. I know that me and Nathan have talked about it a little bit, and I know Zach's caught up on it too.
Anybody watch The Boys season 2?
You know what's weird is I just watched that first episode and I haven't gone back to it, and I don't know why.
I forced myself through that show.
I did finish the series on Netflix, The Mist, based off Stephen King's novella.
Was it good?
Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Yes, seeing the movie. I wouldn't say it was good. It's very predictable. It's very what was it, Nico? Episode 1. It was this girl's been raped by this guy, and I'm like, no. I'm like, her friend did it. And he goes like, what? And I'm like, trust me. So yeah, it was so predictable. The only thing that was consistent with the movie was the mist and it possibly coming from the military site. The monsters were completely different, i.e. there were no, there's some weird, it basically tapped into your mind and did your worst fears or your guilt or whatever. Whereas in the book, it's here's these giant spiders falling on your car. Here's this tentacled monster from the mist, and it got canceled, but it got canceled after season 1 premiered.
Oh.
So it's so open-ended.
Oh God, I'm glad I didn't start it. I hate that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Netflix canceling shows?
Dude, they're canceling left and right.
So I did some reading about that. Basically, the way Netflix works with their algorithm is they find that they're every season there has to be an upward trajectory. If by season 3 you start to level off, it doesn't matter if you're leveled off very successful. If you're still not trending upward, they cancel it. So shows that are doing really, really well but have leveled off in fan base, they're gone. It's crazy.
So is that what happened with Sabrina?
Yes.
See, and that kills me because that kills me because y'all recommend a show, and by the time I'm like, well, I guess I better check this out,
it's gone.
It's canceled. They go, well, screw that. I'm not going to get invested if it's not going to have an ending.
Dude, literally, the only thing that's bucking the trend on Netflix that way is Stranger Things. Yeah.
Which they should have just ended it.
It's because it's an award tool for them because they get awards for it. They win Emmys.
But I mean, it's the most notable thing they have now at this point, especially after House of Cards fizzled out and they don't get any more Marvel shows.
How much longer is that going to go?
What's that?
Stranger Things.
This is the last season coming up.
Yeah.
They've already said
it needs to end.
Well, and it's not even their decision. Some of the actors are doing movies and things now, so they're just ready to move.
That and the actors, they're kids. They're getting older.
They're aging out of it.
Yeah.
But it's to the point now where if it's a TV series on Netflix, if it's a Netflix original, I don't want to invest. If it's something they bought, if it's a UK series that they're just re-airing, basically, okay.
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror till now they own a piece of it, so I don't know.
But then again, Black Mirror is so episodic, you could just.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I will say, I do hope that they stop with the Haunting of Hill House / Bly Manor after this season.
I don't think they will.
We've seen the
I think
first
it'll get a
episode.
third. I think it'll get a
You've
third.
seen the first episode.
Oh, okay. Well, I
liked
didn't.
the
I
second
didn't.
season. I mean, I liked Bly Manor. It was different than the first.
You finished it.
I finished it. And
I haven't finished it, but I'm like episode 3 or 4, and it's just stale.
When you get the full story, like when you get, it's kind of like Lovecraft Country. You get further along, you start getting more invested because the story starts to make a little bit more. There's build to it.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. Our friend Nikki also said the same thing, that she liked it too. I don't know. I keep hearing that it's more focused on this sort of character drama and like almost like a romance thing more than the horror aspects. So that kind of
the thing about Haunting of Hill House, one of the reasons I loved it is it had that beautiful storytelling, but it also scared the crap out of me. I think I've been scared once, maybe twice in Bly Manor, and it wasn't near as impactful as Hill House. So
I also just don't care about the turn of the screw. So
that's
Henry
fair
James
enough.
can go fuck himself.
But you will get a few more scares, but the overall storytelling gets so much better.
So the other thing, as far as tempting things, and I'm hesitant because of what we're just talking about, but I'm hearing good things, and Nathan's been pushing it my direction, and I've heard some other people have said it too, is the Queen's Gambit is supposed to be really good.
I have heard that's good. It's on my queue.
So it's a limited series. So it's like, okay, you're not really expecting much.
But does it end?
It does end.
Okay, well then I'll give it a chance. Because I'm just afraid to get, just totally get screwed with a cliffhanger. I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking about what was it called? The Russian Doll, that comedy.
Yeah, Russian Doll. Yeah.
I'm hoping that got canceled. I haven't heard, but I hope it does because it needs to stop. It's like perfect, and it's one season.
I do want to watch The Crown because I know the season that either just premiered or is about to premiere focuses on Princess Diana, like that era. So
it's the 80s. It's Princess Di. It's Margaret Thatcher. It's
I want to
might
catch
be
up
more
with
interested.
The Crown. Yeah.
Okay.
Gillian Anderson is Margaret Thatcher. So I want to see that.
I love Gillian Anderson. I love Gillian Anderson. Always have since X-Files. All right, so let's talk about some stories.
All right. So Jason Momoa, actor from Game of Thrones who played Khal Drogo during HBO's first season in 2011, opened up to InStyle magazine, revealing that life was not easy after Game of Thrones. He went on to say, "We were starving after Game of Thrones." His wife, Lisa Bonet, and their 2 children, who are now 13 and 11 respectively, were basically broke. He couldn't get work. It was very challenging to have kids, and he was completely in debt. Momoa previously revealed that he was once too broke to fly home while starring on the series. The financial trouble is behind him now, as he has gone on to star in films as Justice League and Aquaman. Coming up next will be Dune, due out next year.
So you know what surprised me the most about this story when you posted it is that he's married to Lisa Bonet. Isn't she significantly older than him?
You're just now figuring.
I had no clue. I don't follow this kind of stuff. I was like, but I know who Lisa Bonet is.
Yeah, but I don't think she's that much older.
You sure?
I mean,
I don't know.
We have the internet.
It feels like she should be. Anyway, it's crazy when you think about someone in such a big show. Like, was it that he got underpaid, or was he really shitty at managing the money he did get paid? That's the question that I have. Because how are you on such an Emmy-winning show? And
well, do you remember Game of Thrones?
He was also only on the first season. Outside
he was only in season 1, and then he was
1 episode in season 2.
Okay, she's 52,
and he's 41.
Yeah, it's only a decade.
11 years.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, spoilers for Game of Thrones season 1, but he dies at the end of season 1, and his part is, I mean, he's there, but I wouldn't say he's one of the main players.
So I read an interesting article.
He does have a lot of lines.
Yeah. I read an interesting article about him.
For a king.
who is is it Amelia Clark? Is that her name?
Yep.
Who's
Yeah.
in that? So she had done an interview about Game of Thrones and about how like awkward she felt about all of the like nudity and really aggressive sex stuff that they had to do in that first season.
Mhm.
And the thing that struck me in that interview is she said that he pulled her off to the side one time and told her, you can tell him no, right? And she didn't take it serious, but it was an interesting thing. He's like, he constantly told her, you could tell them no. You could say we don't have to do this at some point. So good for him. He seems like a cool guy.
He's a real stand-up guy from everything that I've seen. So.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, then he's not hurting for money now, so I can't feel bad for him. I want some of his money, damn it. All right, Nico, you have the epic.
Oh no, it's not epic anymore. I fixed that. From Entertainment Weekly, WandaVision, premiering this December, is Marvel's accidental premiere into Phase 4 set of stories. All thanks to COVID, shutting down and delaying all of their theatrical offerings. Black Widow is basically in a can, waiting to be released at some point. The series will be set after Endgame, starring the oddly now married Scarlet Witch and Vision in an idyllic town of Westview, keeping their power secret. The show starts in a 50s era and cycles through the decades and the TV tropes of the time as a weird mystery unravels around them. Possibly the biggest mystery: how the heck is Vision alive? Because we don't know yet. Before answering that, the show has to get through the 50s and its premiere. For the classic 50s era episode, the crew came to set in period clothing, used period lenses and lighting, special effects team employed period wire and camera tricks. The whole episode is set up like a Dick Van Dyke Show-esque send-off. They even painted the Vision blue instead of his typical kind of purplish pink coloring because it works better in black and white, because that's what the show is going to be. And even for a more authentic feel, they performed in front of a live studio audience. The head writer of WandaVision, Jack Schaefer, says that it is, quote, a love letter to the golden age of television. The series will also eventually bring in new Marvel blood, as Teyonah Parris, who plays the grown-up version of Monica Rambeau. That is the little girl that was in Captain Marvel, the friend of Carol Danvers' best friend. In the comics, that character is also Captain Marvel and is notable for being the first female African-American Avenger. WandaVision, as well as subsequent series on Disney+, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, She-Hulk, as they keep coming out, are a departure from previous Marvel TV shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Daredevil, because unlike those, they were done under a different division of Marvel. These are actually done in Marvel Studios. So the same people who make the movies are making these Disney Plus TV shows. So they're all head by Kevin Feige. Feige tapped Schaefer to write the show, who's also worked on Black Widow and Captain Marvel. This will lead into more integrated tie-ins between television and movies, which is what we kind of wanted with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix shows. Case in point, WandaVision is supposedly setting up the 2022 Doctor Strange movie, the Multiverse of Madness, which she will also be in. And that's it.
So I actually, in that one thing in that article, I actually didn't ever really want Daredevil to be in the bigger universe. I was happy with the referential type of things that they did, and that was enough for me.
I think Daredevil worked well because of that. I agree on that front. I think more so with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. always did this weird one episode, we're going to tie in the local like Marvel movie, which worked in the first season because that one episode was freaking Winter Soldier. It was the one that turned the show around. Yeah. But they also did like Thor crossovers, which were really weird because Thor is not actually in it. Sif was in an episode.
Sif, and she was hunting Enchantress, I believe, right?
Enchantress's sister, who kind of has similar powers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with the Daredevil shows. I liked that they did that whole Marvel, the movie stuff happens over there, like the Battle of New York, and that was all referenced. But it got to a weird point eventually where it seemed like the only thing that happened in Marvel that happened concurrently was that battle. Like they never referenced any other big global events in any of the other Marvel shows on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, Jessica Jones was the same way as Daredevil. It was its own, but I like the ground pounders aspect of it. I liked that.
I do too. I would love for those shows to be back, or at least I would love for Daredevil to be back.
Exactly,
that's the best.
WandaVision, though, that one has to be in the bigger sort of universe. I actually think the Falcon and the Winter Soldier doesn't have to necessarily always be. I think they could be doing stuff that's not connected to the bigger story, and I would be kind of cool with that.
I get the feeling Falcon and Winter Soldier should basically be the Amazon Jack Ryan series.
Yes,
because that's the realm that Captain America world I think works best in, is that political thriller. I mean, that's what Winter Soldier, that film, was.
Yeah, and it was great.
Yeah, it was great. It's still one of the best Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. I am happy. This does relieve one thing for me, is I just don't. I think that the sort of 50s kitschy thing that's going on with WandaVision, I never connected with it. Never. It kind of turned me off, to be honest. But hearing that it's probably only one episode,
maybe two, if they bleed over. Yeah.
Well, what's supposed to be doing is basically each episode goes through an era.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 50s and then 60s and then moving onward.
Yeah, I don't understand this whole like homage of eras of television in the story arc, though. I don't know.
I think it has something to do with the fact that there's a weird reality warping around them. So they as a couple are kind of conforming to a stereotypical idyllic couple, which would be like
$10 says Hydra has Scarlet Witch under some kind of like machine hooked up to like a monitor. That's the TV aspect. And then Winter Soldier, Falcon will come in and be like, "Oh, we're here to save the day."
Well, that would be.
I'd buy that. I think that'd be cool.
But you know, as I was sitting here thinking about it, if they're leaning into sort of the House of M thing, maybe they do that thing where, what was the name of the country that she comes from?
Sokovia.
Yeah, if like that's sort of how she learned about America, was through watching these eras of TV, and maybe that's coming out of her mind.
That would make a lot of sense too. I think that's a really good argument, and I do think it is very much a House of M style. She is warping reality, or something is warping reality that she's involved in, and that is why it's adapting television, because it's the popular culture that she probably knows, recognizes with what she sees as a stable family, a stable relationship, and brings vision. So we don't know if she is the one that recreates and makes vision again, or if there's something else. I'm interested. I want to see what it is. It could be terrible. I'm not, but it also could be really neat. So
it could.
I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
I need something.
That's where I'm going.
I need something to make me continue to maintain this Disney Plus account that I've got it back now, because it's certainly not fucking Mandalorian.
The thing that upsets me about Disney Plus is they don't have the newest episodes of DuckTales on it. Like, the new episodes of DuckTales air on Disney XD, but they don't put them on Disney Plus.
Why is that exactly?
I don't know, but they did put.
They spiked Nico specifically.
Yes, they did put the 2-part episode. I think it was a 2-parter of the Darkwing Duck premiere, and on YouTube, not on Disney Plus. It's on YouTube, but it's great.
That's bizarre.
Yes.
So on those services, why is it I see with Disney Plus and HBO Max that there are things that you need to watch because it's your last chance? Why are they pulling things off? It's their product,
Disney
right?
Plus is doing that crap now.
I saw an article that said last chance or something, and then HBO has a whole section that says that.
Well, HBO makes sense if it's not actual Warner Brothers stuff, because it could be the stuff that's on HBO that they have licenses for.
Oh, you mean like their the
movies.
HBO movies, the Saturday Night Movie thing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe
do you think maybe Disney's preparing to release the stuff that they're pulling now? Do you think maybe it's because they're preparing to release them in like specific limited edition vault DVD Blu-rays.
I don't
and-
Oh, that would
Yeah,
be interesting though if they did that. If that was Disney's strategy of we're going to release it from the vault, so it's off Disney Plus. You have to go buy it.
I don't see anything that says like what's leaving.
Yeah,
That's recent. I mean, remember early
I did hear.
January, some movies were leaving due to licensing, but I haven't seen anything, any news since then.
That's gonna be interesting. I'll keep an eye out for the show and post things.
I didn't see the advertisement, but I heard that there was some advertisements for Disney Plus, like showcasing stuff coming up that included the Sony Marvel Studios Spidey films, the Homecoming and Far From Home. So that would be neat.
Yeah, that would be neat. And Disney did they did rearrange the Marvel movies in the catalog. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I think you posted about that on your personal Facebook.
Yep. All right, moving on.
All right. Well, for some people, it's tough keeping a big secret.
Is it?
But now it's official. Today, it announced
being November 7th. That's important.
Oh.
And 7 is an important part of this.
That's not in this at all. So, well, they announced the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
The point of that is that N7 is a big deal in the Mass Effect universe. So November 7th.
And N7, November 7th is now known as Mass Effect Day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So BioWare has been at hard work updating texture shaders, models, effects, and technical features of all 3 games. So Mass Effect Legendary Edition is announced. It will include the single player base content and DLC from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Plus promo weapons, armors, packs, all remastered, optimized for 4K UHD. And it's coming out spring 2021 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC. Awesome. I know Mass Effect 1 or 2 has been available, but not on Steam. So hopefully this is on Steam. Maybe I can finally play these games. But
they're good.
Again,
they're really
excited.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard Mass Effect 3 is not good.
I'd be very.
So the problem with Mass Effect 3 is everyone hates the endings. I'm not crazy about the actual ending, and they even went back and added stuff to the ending to help pacify fans. But the gameplay and everything up to the endings is great in 3. I love some of the DLC in 3. I love 2. I'm not looking forward to the gameplay in 1 again, but I love the story in 1, and I know it's. So here's the curious thing. It says it's not a remake. It's not redoing the game.
It's a remaster.
It is a remaster,
which means they could tweak the gameplay just a little bit too.
That's the question: is what form does the gameplay take? Because the gameplay in 1 is maybe not radically, but it's definitely an older gameplay versus 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are much quicker and much snappier, and I think are better to play.
Yeah, games in 2007 played differently than games in 2020.
That's true.
Yes. So we'll see how that goes.
They're classics, though. I've never played the third one. I played the first one and I played the second one, but I've never played the third one. Not because I heard it was bad, even though I did hear it, but just because I don't know. I just never got around to it. But to see these things redone in 4K, that should be really pretty cool. Hopefully, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your
thing. No, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Speaking of video games, I went ahead and played Amnesia Rebirth.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like the whole game. I finished the whole game.
Yeah. Was it good?
So you can tell Frictional Games does not have their same writer from previous games. It is nowhere as good as like Soma or
isn't that the game you live streamed some of and Nathan and I watched and you didn't interact and watching you go through menus forever was boring as hell. So
well, I hate to tell you, but it's an Amnesia game, which is all about immersion. It's to be played, like the game directly tells you, it's played to be immersed, not to win.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm fine with that. It's just you went through like so many menus and weren't interacting, and Nathan and I were like,
I went through 2 minutes.
We're
of
like,
menus, making sure it's correct.
What kind of dog shit live stream is this?
And then I didn't see y'all commenting until 5 minutes later. But anyway, yeah, it's that game. The story is all right. the problem is the first half is so damn slow. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first like 45 minutes of Amnesia 1 are slow, but the tension in the air of that game is much more palpable. Whereas the first 2 hours of this game
Is it Emperor Palpable?
palpable.
Yeah.
It is not do it. You know, you don't want
Womp womp.
Oh, well then it's not that. It's not that palpable.
I mean, the game does come alive a little bit, and I do respect the game for like. I've never played a game where you have to take care of a kid because you're pregnant and you give birth. Never have in first person. Never had that in a video game before. I mean,
Okay.
And they make it like a mini game while you're giving birth too. It's like you have to look at somebody or else you'll fail essentially, or you'll lose control. The game says, which
That actually sounds annoying.
well to me it's like it keeps the scene actually like it's not a cutscene. It's like, oh, let's keep going. This I want to make sure I give birth normally here. I was not a huge fan of the ending only because all 3 endings are like really dark, like really bleak, which is
I like that.
normal. It's normal for all frictional games, but this one I went, I hate them because they're so bleak. It's like,
I like it. I like.
Does anyone care about spoilers?
It does. We don't have any frame of reference.
Okay, well, if you care about spoilers for Amnesia Rebirth, skip forward a minute. Like one ending is you essentially you steal your kid and then you go back to Paris, but you're going to have to torture people in the future to keep your kid alive. Ending 2 is you leave your kid and you become a monster and you occasionally remember, oh, I'm human and I had a kid once. But you're just a monster now. And then ending 3 is fuck everybody and you tear down this god, but you and your kid die in the process. And that's
I go with ending 3.
It's like ending 3 is by definition the best ending because you're ending all this suffering. But damn.
So
I will say if you are thinking of purchasing Amnesia Rebirth, please play Amnesia 1. Like read all the documents because it pays off massively in this one. It is
so in other words, I will definitely not be doing that.
If
you're telling me
Amnesia is all about
read.
Amnesia is literally about like reading notes.
I can't remember what the date is 2 minutes after I get the date. Are you kidding me? I'm not doing that.
You might enjoy Soma a bit better, but even then, Soma.
I can tell you what I am going to enjoy is I have officially received.
You got it?
Well, no, I've received my tracking number for my Xbox Series X.
Oh, I was thinking of something else.
No, the thing that you're talking about, we'll get to that in a minute. But the Series X is on the way, and I am excited.
Can we just all be appreciative that it's like with this new generation, with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, it's like 60 frames a second gaming is here, baby.
Yep.
I mean, everything is gravy at this point. You know, there's going to be all the arguments are kind of over. It's like we have finally reached it.
Get them beautiful 4K graphics.
Now, are we talking white gravy or brown gravy? Like what kind of gravy?
It depends if you're having steak or you're having mashed potatoes.
Sausage gravy.
If you're it's sausage gravy, then when you're having eggs.
I mean, at this point, it's going to come
or
down
biscuit.
to really at this point, it's going to come down to, I mean, play style and controller.
Yeah,
because your graphics are great and your frame rate's good.
It comes down to what system is Spider-Man on.
Spider-Man is going to initially, the Miles Morales game is obviously going to be on PS5. And I'm hearing that it is beautiful, but just okay. But it is beautiful.
And they're giving options too. You can choose if you want the ultra graphics or if you want the better frame rate. It's like, finally, we have choice.
Yep. Well, the thing that I'm excited about that's throwing a lot of people off is the Xbox in particular is being handled kind of in the way that like a cell phone upgrade is being handled. You know, it's coming out. They're not coming out with a big blowout like Halo game or something like that. What they're doing is giving you a completely upgraded system and telling you everything you have is going to be way better.
That to me is more exciting than like a brand new game.
Yeah, I mean, right away, we're still big, and me and Nathan are playing the crap out of Dead by Daylight still. And the first thing that happens is a big upgrade. You get a big download because it's upgrading the graphics and the frame rate and all that stuff.
For each level.
Yeah, for each. Yeah, so it's going to be epic. And then, the big 4K games will come out after Christmas, early next year, and that'll be great. But it is a good time to be a gamer. But let's see. Moving on, though, to what Zach is actually talking about.
Yeah, because I know you're excited for it.
Oh, baby. Today on Blu-ray, the I Spit on Your Grave Ronin Flicks Special Edition is out to buy. No one's going to have it in the store. If you went into Walmart and saw that on the shelf, that building would probably catch fire.
Yeah. People would be complaining about, how dare you stock this horrible piece of trash.
Yeah, so it is a super limited edition, very beautifully packaged. It was supposed to be here today, but the USPS is, of course, running late.
Oh.
Yeah, so it says delivered between today and Saturday.
How much did you pay for that thing again?
$60.
Is it out of stock? Is that out of print now?
Not yet. You can still get it from them. Yeah, it's still on their website. But it also comes with the sequel, which I've never seen.
It comes with 3 movies.
Yeah. And a crap ton of extras. And I had direct contact with Ronin Flicks about it. And they're like, all they would say to me is you were going to be blown away by the transfer. It's a movie made in the 70s, made for the cheap, shot on 16.
Well, it's a 4K scan, too.
It is. Yeah, so it's going to be stunning. Anyway, that's coming out. If you know 70s Grindhouse, you will be excited.
You say it was shot on 16 millimeter?
That's what the guy on Facebook told me.
You sure about that?
I'm saying that's what the guy on Facebook told me.
Oh, really? Because it's the 35 millimeter uncut camera negative, according to Blu-ray.com.
Okay.
But you know what? Let's double check.
All I care about is that it's the uncut version.
Yeah, it is that.
Yeah. So Bill and Ted Face the Music is out this week also. The Office is out. A complete series is out. That's been out, but they've released...
Yeah, it's 35 millimeter.
Maybe it's Mill Creek. I'm not sure, but they released it on Blu-ray.
The Zach just jumped in a weird bit about the Office, the complete series that's been out. Then I heard him say maybe it's 55 millimeter. I'm like, The Office?
No, it's 35 millimeter.
Yeah. But is that what it was shot on? That's my question.
That's what it was shot on. So it's gonna look real nice.
So Brides of Dracula is out also this week. Amazon Women on the Moon is also out. The Last Thanksgiving and A Rainy Day in New York. That is the physical media this week. What do we have on the comic books?
And comics this week. Books to look out for. We have over from Marvel. We have Iron Man number 3. So if you're wanting to get into an Iron Man book like the Tony Stark, Christopher Cantwell, the writer of this, is co-creator of the TV series *Halt and Catch Fire*, which is fantastic. Oh, cool. So
I gotta watch that show. I've heard so much that *Halt and Catch Fire* is good.
It's so good. I really like this book. I've read the first 2 issues. Haven't read 3 yet since it's just out, but I am looking forward to more of this. Over at DC, if you were a fan of the Hawkman book, unfortunately, the last issue is out this week, issue 29. Over in IDW, if you are a fan of the current campaign book for Dungeons and Dragons, which is the Rime of the Frost Maiden, there is a tie-in comic book series starting at Spine of the World, issue 1 of 4. And over in Image, if you're a fan of the Kick-Ass franchise, there's a new Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl miniseries, issue 1 of 5. If you're unaware, Kick-Ass is not the same kid it's been in the previous movies or the.
I was gonna ask.
Kick-Ass.
So it's Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were friendly and all, but
Well, yeah, it's a different Kick-Ass and they don't know each other.
Okay. Cool. I don't know. I only read the very original first run of Kick-Ass, but even in that run, Hit Girl kind of takes over the book a little bit. Like, she's the coolest character. And then in the movie, there's no question that she's the coolest character.
Yeah, there have been a lot of Kick-Ass and Hit Girl spin-off and tie-ins and whatnot in the comics. And they're not all done by the same team either. But Yeah, and they are also very different from the movies, if that is your familiarity with Kick-Ass as a franchise.
They're also way more violent. At least the first run was. I don't know if they continue to be that way, but the first one...
They're still pretty violent, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your pick of the week?
I go with Iron Man.
Always go with Iron Man. Who's playing? Zach, are you playing a video? Busted. All right.
I'm hearing
I did. I hear it.
Oh.
You're just hearing things.
That's probably true. So, get all the rest of the comic books over on CultureSmash.tv. Nico shares a link with Diamond Comics. Is that where you put the link?
So I share two links. One for Diamond Comics because Diamond Distribution does the distribution for almost every major comic book except DC.
Except DC.
We've covered that on the show before. DC backed out of using them as the distributor. And they go through some others. So they self-publish their list of stuff that comes out. So I've posted a link for Diamond about everything they're distributing, which includes Marvel and Image and IDW and Boom and all that stuff. And then also the one that's just DC.
Nice. So the other day, my heart almost stopped for a second. I'm like, what is happening? When I saw that Nico posted on Facebook that he's selling comic books from his collection.
Yeah, so I am looking.
I was shocked.
I haven't combed through which books I'm getting rid of. I have a lot.
We're definitely getting rid of the single issues that we also have in trade.
There's some of the trade. Yeah, some of those I want to get rid of. There are a lot of books that you start and then it's like I have the first 3 issues I didn't want anymore, so I didn't buy anymore.
Some duplicates from when I collected comics and he collected comics and we collected the same one.
So I need to what I was researching is local places in town that are the best to sell comics. Then I have to go through to figure out exactly which books I want to try selling, or at least the first batch. This is going to eventually culminate and this is the big news, is switching, pulling back out of physical comic issues for at least Marvel, because Marvel Unlimited, which is their online subscription service, has limited their window for availability for when new comics would be updated. Previously, it was 6 months, so you would have to wait 6 months after a comic is released for it to be on Marvel Unlimited.
All right.
Now it's 3 months. And I'm usually behind enough where that's close enough to how quickly I read my books.
Oh, wow. So what is it? What are they charging for that now?
$9.99 a month.
My God.
If you do a yearly subscription, it's like 60 something. So it's even better. So I will probably just do that for my Marvel books.
That means you don't own any of them, though.
I would get the ones I want in trade. That would most likely be it, because there are definitely, that's always the thing, is like there are a lot of books I subscribe to that I like reading regularly, but I don't know if I need to dedicate the shelf space to it.
Like, or vice versa. There's some that he might be interested in trying, but he doesn't want to buy the books because he doesn't know if it's going to be good or not.
Yeah, you run like you were saying, like you start a series thinking it will be good, you read 2 or 3 in and it's not, and you just drop it.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest motivators in terms of books that meet what we're talking about right now is the whole X-Men line right now, because the entire X-Men line is constantly making new books and doing a lot of weird, new, often cool, sometimes things that don't work with me though, things with just how much X content there is right now that it's very hard. I tried following most of it, and I dropped all but one of the X books.
Well,
which
because
isn't even X-Men.
Most of the X books, I mean, it's just, I don't think it's a hot take to even say that most of the X books are not good. They try a lot of things, but for some reason that world is really hard to do.
I think some of them definitely aren't that good. Like Fallen Angels wasn't great, and that one died off pretty quickly. But other ones are just also like different strokes for different folks. They fit different markets, and I like being able to try that and know what's going on. Also, like the current X-Men crossover is a 22-issue crossover.
Oh my god!
It's over every X book for the whole like rest of the year.
That's too much. That's too much.
I don't want to buy all that. I'll just read that on Marvel Unlimited. So that's what I'm going to look for. But that's not necessarily going to be the case for my other titles that aren't in Marvel. DC has one too, but I don't really read a lot of DC books. So like my Image titles, my Boom Studio titles, IDW books, things like that, those I would still get physically as well.
Okay, cool.
We'll see how that goes.
I was curious because I was like, what? I thought you would be the last one to leave the paper comic world. I haven't done paper comics in years.
What I will likely do is sell my issues to McKay's for store credit and then go to the trade section and buy trades of a lot of those books.
No. First, he'll go to the D&D section, and then he'll go to the trades.
That's likely very possible.
Yeah, it's probably true. Yep.
Okay.
All right, that brings us to a good spot to close up. Nico, where are we going to find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Nico Scream, NIKOSCREAM. You can see it on the screen if you're watching the video, where I mostly post about asking about comic stuff or Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Tina?
You can find me Steam, Discord, Twitch, and Instagram under Cheddar Popper. That is CHEDRPOPPR. And always follow the puppy at the.shadow.pupper on Instagram.
Nathan?
Find me on Instagram, Nate_R_70. You can find me on Switch playing Dead by Daylight. My handle is Nate70471.
And Zachy boy?
You can find me on Discord.
Curled up in the corner crying like a baby.
Over what?
Everything. Life.
Anxiety.
You can find me on Discord. I'm a Dangerous Mute Lunatic, as well as on Steam, a Dangerous Mute Lunatic, and on Instagram, I'm Master of the Matrix 91. I play a lot of Call of Duty Warzone, Dead by Daylight, Killing Floor 2, Phasmophobia, Apex Legends, the works.
I've been playing a lot of Among Us.
And I'm on the PC Boys gaming server a lot, so come play with us.
Find me at all things Culture Smash, also Off the Shelf Movie Night on YouTube, and playing Dead by Daylight. Just look up Culture Smash, you'll find me and Nathan, more likely, blowing generators and getting killed. But it's fun.